What's up, Trojans? I'm here to review that 49ers game, preview the Bears, and assess the state of the season for the Giants. So let's go into the last one first. With the Giants, the season's over. It's just not a thing anymore. We're not making the playoffs, and it's just going to be tough to really consistently, on a week-to-week basis, expect wins from the Giants at this point. And it's mainly because of the defense. The offense definitely also could have been better against the 49ers. But the main point of the rest of the season, the reason I'm not already here, we're tanking, we're getting draft picks, this, that, and the other, because we're not. This season is about analyzing Jackson Dart as a quarterback, how he leads this team and leads this offense, and you need the team to still buy in late in the year to get an accurate assessment of Jackson Dart. So the team needs to stick together behind him. And in assessing the state of the team, unfortunately, it feels like the defense is starting to give up a little bit. I know there's a lot of injuries. I know there's a lot going on, but going into that review of the 49ers game, the defense late in the game just, wow. A lot of the big plays that they were even making early in the game to keep it competitive. Not that the defense was good early in the game, but the plays they were making to keep it competitive were just out the window late in the game. They were tired. They were slow. They let the 49ers walk all over them and drain the clock out. The 49ers did whatever they wanted to the Giants defense. And, you have guys like Deonte Banks out there still. Really? We're on to this? We sat Deonte Banks for a fourth-round pick, Cordale Flott, who proved himself to be a great corner. That's nothing against Flott. That's everything against Banks. And it makes you wonder, why is he still on the team? Why is Shane Bowen still a part of the Giants organization? He's had horrific performances week after week. The Broncos, the Eagles, the 49ers. He can't keep a team under 30 points. I'd be shocked to see a team not score 30 points on the Giants. The Bears, they're scoring 30 against the Giants. Easy. 32, 33, that's where I'd put them at against the Giants. Easy. No doubt in my mind. The Bears have a solid offense. They're going above 30 as well. What does it take to get a defensive coordinator fired? Except for having 30 points scored on you because of your horrific defensive schemes 4 weeks in a row. And it's only because of these bad defensive schemes. And we can all see it. It's the defensive schemes. They're not putting players where they excel. Yes, you have Deonte Banks out there. Yes, you have these late-round practice squad guys out there. Corey Black, Flanagan Fowles. But Corey Black and Flanagan Fowles are the names going back and forth. Flanagan Fowles, what a cool name, too. The announcers were even getting a kick out of saying that nonstop because he had a lot of tackles. But you have guys like that out there that are trying their hardest, but there are these later round guys. They were on the practice squad or picked late in the draft for a reason, right? They're not meant to be these elite guys in the NFL. But they're putting in all the effort they have. And it feels like those are the type of guys that you could scheme into being much more competitive. And Shane Bowen just isn't capable of doing that. Deonte Banks, what a bust for the Giants. This is a guy that was drafted for the Wink Martindale defensive system. And then Dable's like, we don't need Martindale. Get him out of here. And I know they fought or whatever, but what petty nonsense could be that bad where Wink Martindale has to leave? What did Wink Martindale really demand of the organization? He was a good defensive coordinator, and now we don't have him. And we have Shane Bowen instead. Wow. But that's where this defense is at. Brian Burns continues to be a beast, and Carter, who I've been calling out nonstop, he didn't do much in this game, but he made one play that counted. He caught a pass that it was technically a sack fumble by Brian Burns, so great play by Brian Burns. But that could have been considered a pass, a forward pass, and Abdul Carter put all the effort in to catch it, secure it, and go to the ground with it and not fumble or anything else. So full credit to Abdul Carter on that play as well. It was a great play by both guys. Didn't see much else from Carter in the game, but credit where credit's due. I don't want to go too hard on Carter, but I do expect more still from the third overall pick in the draft. The defense overall, man, it's just not there. The Giants' defense needs to improve. I like Kayvon Thibodeau a lot as well. I think he is trying his hardest. He had some run stops. Dexter Lawrence, I think it is putting in a lot of effort, but yeah, I'm starting to be on the train of it's being fair to call him out this season. Yes, he's taking double teams. Yes, he's taking on a lot of the attention, the blocks, and they're really scheming Dexter Lawrence out. A little bit more, in my opinion. The Dexter Lawrence is just like getting outmatched, but he's one of the higher paid guys on this team. He's meant to be a leader of the team. I expect more from him. It's the same thing I was saying about Leonard Williams. We need more from that guy getting paid that money. Yes, you're getting double teamed, but I still need sacks. I need numbers, man. And if we had sacks and numbers from Carter and Lawrence, in addition to Thibodeau and Burns, now I know on any given play, yes, maybe there's only so many sacks to go around, but if those guys were getting in there a little bit more, whoo, this Giants defensive line would be elite. We'd be having 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sacks a game. But that's just not what we're seeing because it's Burns and Thibodeau all day, every day. Mainly Burns even. Burns is the guy with all the sacks. These other guys, yeah, they're helping out, but it's Burns that's getting all the sacks. He's getting the big numbers. He's making the big plays. And so you'd just be like, oh, well, they would scheme Burns out, right? But they can't scheme Burns out because the second they do that, someone else will show up. And yeah, that's true. If they move more of their attention to the right side, Kayvon comes in from the other side, and oh, there you go, still getting sacked. But honestly, I wonder if they move their attention, they double team Thibodeau and Burns, I don't know if those other guys would be able to get there at this point. That's how much I'm starting to doubt Carter and Lawrence. Carter, less so, but Lawrence, yeah, I'm starting to see it. It's only to the Giants' benefit, I think, at this point that he's taken on the double teams. I just want to see more from him. I think the effort's there. I think he's still trying and everything, but I think he's just getting outmatched a little bit. Just a little bit. But that's on the defensive line. The secondary, very bad. Not much else to say there. It's the secondary that's the real problem here with this Giants defense. Mostly due to injuries, but somewhat due to the effort a little bit, especially late in the game. Moving on to the offense, I expect a little bit more from Jackson Dart against the 49ers. It was not bad. He made a lot of amazing plays, especially late in the game. He really started to become a little bit more mobile, but that is something I've been missing from him the last few weeks. I feel like ever since that ankle injury, he just hasn't been as mobile as he was before that. I want to see a lot more running from Jackson Dart. I know there's this thing where quarterbacks start running the ball a lot, and they're like, no, I got to pass it more. I got to show that I can pass the ball. But run the ball when it's there. I don't want to see Jackson Dart making a 5-yard pass or attempting a 5-yard pass when a 5-yard run is available. Just run the ball at that point. You never know. I get that you're the quarterback. It's like, yeah, but I'm not as fast. I can't break the tackles. If the yards are there, he has to take them. The other thing Jackson Dart has to work on, that pressure sensor. He's got to be a little bit more paranoid in the pocket and outside of the pocket. That play where he went all the way out to the outside, stood there for a good second, and then got sacked from behind. He's got to throw the ball there. Find someone that's even somewhat open and throw the ball there. You know someone's around. Someone's going to come up behind you, or run it yourself at that point. Like, why even stop? Why not keep running and then look up? And then if you see a guy, throw the ball before you cross the line of scrimmage. That's what a lot of quarterbacks do, but instead he just rolled out and sat there. It's like he's been told, try to pass first. Like, Dable's drilling that in his head. And this is where you start to get into, like, yeah, maybe we could just get rid of Dable, and that would solve a lot of issues. That would also get rid of Bowen. I don't think Kafka's the best offensive coordinator in the world. We could easily, I think, replace all the coaches on the staff. It's just, this team is getting out-coached, and I don't think these players are coached as well as other players in the NFL. This goes for a lot of the offense as well. Slayton's not coming down with contested passes. I think Wandale's really stepped up into his role as essentially wide receiver one. The offensive line is hit and miss on a week-to-week basis now. I kind of like both our running backs still, Tracy and Singletary. I think both did a decent job. Singletary, I think, benefited a lot more from the fact that there was just different coverages and different schemes when he ran the ball, so I know he looked a lot more effective than Tracy, but I realistically think they're on the same level. I think they have strengths and weaknesses, and it just played out slightly better for Singletary in that game. But they are clearly a downgrade from Scadaboo, and that is something I was wrong at in my last video. I didn't think losing Scadaboo would be that huge for the Giants offense, but it was so evident against the 49ers. There were so many plays those running backs had that, man, like, I just thought if Scadaboo was the guy running that pass, or running that from that pass or running the ball in general, he could have broken that tackle. He could have gotten more yards, gotten the first down, and yeah, just these guys, they're not capable of doing that. Nothing against them. I think they're both very competent running backs in the NFL. But, yeah, Scadaboo definitely was a certain type of guy for this offense, and we're going to need him back next season. Theo Johnson, that's the other guy I want to call out in this offense. Inexcusable, those drops. Or the one big drop and then not getting that route correct with Jackson Dart. I mean, you know it's bad when you run a route and your quarterback's like, bro, what are you doing? You got to be on the same page with your quarterback. And you got to catch the easy passes that are thrown to you on third down. Catch the ball. Hit him in the arm. The arm. You got to catch that. We joke about, it hit his, outstretched hand as a wide receiver. The case with Slayton. I'm calling out Slayton for dropping the ball and contested catch that hit his hand. But Theo Johnson's pass hit him in the arm. Just close your arm and you catch the pass, dude. Inexcusable. Daniel Bellinger is the best tight end on this roster. There's so many good tight ends in the NFL. We have Theo Johnson. That's where we're at. And he catches a touchdown pass every week, so maybe he's good for your fantasy team, but that's about it. He's not good for this Giants offense. Daniel Bellinger is way better. And, we have other guys on this team that are much more consistent. Gunner, our amazing special teams guy, our punt returner, our kick returner. He's a legend. He's just very consistent. He returns the ball well every time. Caught that 24-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Dart. What a guy. And then the final call out for this offense is after Brian Burns and Abdul Carter make that insane defensive play. The offense has to find a way to put a touchdown on the board. They do nothing. 3 and out into a Graham Gano missed field goal, and that's going to get Graham Gano, I think, outed at the end of the season. He's had too many injuries, and then he comes back and he misses that field goal. Can't be having that. I don't think it's worth outing him in the middle of the year because I do think still when he's healthy, he's better than that last guy we had. Missing a 40-some yard field goal is a lot different than missing 20 extra points. So it's just a shame because of the scenario. That would have been a huge play to just put points on the board there. Would have kept the Giants much more competitive in the game. Instead, it became a blowout in the second half just because the defense, namely. The offense really kicked it in the high gear in the second half. But the defense, And I think it was because of that, largely. The offense has to do a lot better of capitalizing when the defense makes a play. And they just weren't able to do it. And that's something very consistent with this Giants team. The defense makes a play, the offense doesn't capitalize. The offense goes out there, scores a touchdown, the defense falls apart and just gives up a touchdown return. The Giants cannot put together a full game. Last time we did it the last time the Giants put together a full game was against the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. That was the last time the Giants had a full game put together. Since then, can't do anything right, it feels like. But going to the Bears, I think this is a winnable game for the Giants. I don't think the Bears are a perfect team. I think they're a very good team. I think that offense is going to put up over 30 on the Giants. But I think that defense has a lot of holes in it, and I think Jackson Dart is capable of finding those. Wandale's a really good wide receiver. If he has less of a Wan'Dale stat line of 4 receptions for 46 yards, 9 receptions for 46 yards. Theoretically, you have 9 receptions as an NFL wide receiver. You're talking about 100 receiving yards. Wan'Dale had less than 50 and no touchdown either. All 9 of those receptions, no touchdown. So you'd theoretically expect a little bit more from a guy getting that many targets and receptions. So hopefully Wan'Dale can have a similar amount of receptions, but it's more yards against the Bears. You got to get the guy in space a little bit more. He is proven to be a great runner after the catch, so I'd like to see a little bit more there from Wan'Dale. He's tried his best in stepping up. I think the Bears can provide that opportunity. Maybe a little bit more from Slayton as well. I will say I'll get on Slayton for those drops he had and everything and not being able to catch those contested balls. But he had a few receptions for a good number of yards. He made them when the easy passes were there. So he's a solid wide receiver and all. It's just, Malik Nabers is so missed for this Giants offense. But I think there's an opportunity against the Bears. I think both our running backs can have a decent day. I think should be even touches between the both of them. I think they're about equal in performance. I think Dart is the main guy for the Giants offense. The rest of the season's about evaluating him. So I think what this is going to come down to against the Bears is if the Giants break 30, they win. If they can't hit 30, I think the defense will give up more than 30. So it's going to be on the offense, but I think this is a much better opportunity than even the 49ers for the Giants to put up that 30 points and put together a shootout type win. I think you put Jackson Dart in that game that Russell Wilson was in, and Jackson Dart finishes that out. A lot of Giants fans said right after that one that, hey, maybe Dart doesn't even get us in that position. I probably said the same thing. I thought Russ played a great game against Dallas, but after seeing him for this long, I think he could have put up a very similar performance against Dallas. And Dart is that guy where he gets better later in the game. I think he could have made that last drive in overtime that Russ wasn't able to do. So I think Dart has a really good chance against the Bears to win the game for the Giants by putting up more than 30 points. Need some help on special teams. Gillen's a fine punter, but always needs to work on downing the ball within the 10. Him punting from the 50 is a dangerous game. It feels like he always kicks out the back of the end zone. Graham Gano has to make his field goals. The Giants' defense has to do something. I think Caleb Williams is very susceptible to defensive pressure from the line. So the Giants have to get there. Burns, Carter, Thibodeau, Lawrence, all 4 of those guys got to get in there, get some pressures, get some sacks. The secondary is going to be the secondary. Odunze is going to get his yards. Swift is going to get his yards. I mean, Swift is an amazing running back. He's going to have a Christian McCaffrey against the Giants-type performance. There's kind of just no way around that. The short passes, and he'll be able to go. The Giants are very susceptible to that. Any plays on the edges are a weakness to the Giants' defense. I think they'll fall victim to that again. It's going to be a tough one, but I do think the Giants can pull this one out. They historically have had a good record against the Bears, or at least as long as I've been watching. The Giants are able to beat the Bears fairly consistently, or at least have very, very close games against them. I think back to the one where Sterling Shepard just wasn't quite able to catch that pass in the end zone. I think Daniel Jones threw the ball a little bit off, but it did come down to it, and the game was there for the Giants to win it. That's the last major loss I remember against the Bears. I think the Giants normally find a way to win that one. But we'll see. I'll see you guys in the next one.